Hello, everyone. Welcome to Twinkle Gossip Girl. Okay, this is a lot. Portia is dealing with a lot. Portia Williams from the Real Housewives of Atlanta and her husband Simon, they are fighting for deportation after criminal past. So, according to Simon's record, it seems that just days after Bravo confirmed that Portia Williams would return back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, shocking allegations have surfaced about her husband Simon. It involves fraud, it involves felony charges and potential deportation. According to court documents, Simon is facing a complicated immigration case and is at risk of deportation from the United States. Okay? His case dates back to the 1980s. Okay, so apparently Simon, since the 1980s, he been getting into trouble. Okay, he's been frauding with the credit card scams. He been doing a lot of stuff, and he was charged for most of it. He did time back in the 80s, moving forward to present, not to present, but he has a history of criminal charges. So when he first arrived in the United States from Nigeria, allegedly, Simon was involved in numerous financial crimes before we were introduced to him on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, period. Simon complication immigration status is like beyond crazy. And Simon legal trouble started back in 1985. He arrived in the United States on a visitor's visa. However, Simon overstayed his allotted time in the country, but tried to gain citizenship by marrying a United States citizen. So this United States citizen that he tried to marry to get all these documents was the woman who was before Porsha, okay, who Portia was friends with, and that's how Portia actually met Simon, because her and his wife was cool, and then Portia started dealing with Simon. Okay, and that's a known fact because his ex-wife mentioned it, that she was the reason why Portia knew her husband through her, because her and Portia was supposed to have been friends. So, however, the marriage wasn't real. The Immigration and Neutralization Service clocked that his marriage was phony, and they initiated deportation proceedings. Allegedly, Simon left the U.S. on his own, once the marriage idea didn't work. He returned a year later with a 6-month visitor's visa, but again overstayed his welcome. During his second adventure in the United States, Simon got busted for bank, credit card fraud on several occasions. He faced felony charges, prompting the United States to initiate deportation proceedings for a second time. Now, I knew about these deportations, honey. Okay, I know the rules when it comes to the immigration, because I know people who are going through something similar like this from past crimes when they were younger, and then they're married, they're doing good with their lives, and then they're trying to get their papers. But see, with Homeland Security, immigration and all of that, once you get into trouble, it's hard to erase these charges off your records. So say if you did some time in your past, but your records is still open, you have to seal these records, and some of them you have to fight, to try to it's let me tell you, it's so much rules and regulations and different changes as the years went past. So Simon should have been took care of this, honey, because now we in 2024. Things is getting crazy. Okay, so these rules is getting more stronger and tighter, but we're going to see what's going to happen. So anyway, let's jump right back into Simon's situation. Okay. Simon left the U.S. on his own. So anyway, prompting the United States to initiate deportation proceedings for a second time. So he actually sent out some letters to try to push the process to try to get them to, change their mind. But the government was working on deporting Simon. He allegedly obtained a green card using a fake identity. So now he's doing more crimes to try to get around this deportation with immigration. That's the wrong thing to do, honey, because when you dealing with immigration, you cannot be making no fake documents, honey. So Simon, I don't know what he was thinking when he did this. Portia should have been on top of this too. But anyway, the government, He allegedly obtained a green card using a fake identity. He applied for a special agriculture worker immigration program and failed to include his criminal history. So now he's applying again and again, but not letting the people know on the paperwork he got a criminal history. So the green card got approved, which seemingly allowed him to stay in the United States under a false identity. So that's when basically he ran into Porsha, because he was already going through all this criminal situation. According to the outlet, Simon tried to apply for naturalization in 2016. He wanted to become a full citizen of the United States rather than just being a green card holder. However, the government refused to approve his application. They said his temporary resident status was unlawfully granted. So over the last 3 years, Simon has tried multiple times to convince the government to overturn their decisions. It hasn't worked, which has left Simon's immigration status in limbo. Allegedly, he's not a citizen, and his green card was obtained under fraudulent circumstances. So he's even lucky to even be free wherever he's at in Nigeria at this point, because they did ship his butt back. This sounds like the type of court case that would consume a lot of time and money. So if the allegations about Simon's immigration status are true, we should expect to see the storyline play out on season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So that's where I'm really trying to jump into, because Porsha just came back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So is this just something to have as a storyline to boost the ratings on the show, to give Porsha more story time on the show? Because filming is expected to happen soon, and then all of a sudden, all this stuff starts to come out about her hubby. So we're going to see what's going to happen. Do you think Simon's alleged legal troubles will be a storyline? Of course it is. I believe it is. I know the public believe it is. But what are your thoughts on his complicated immigration status? Because this is crazy. I mean, it's insane how he did all these fraudulent. He's lucky. I'm going to tell you something, because if allegedly, it says allegedly that he did this, but if it's true, he's not going to get these documents. I don't care if it's going to be nails, hammers before they try to approve him, because he tried to trick the system. And that's one thing about the government, honey. You can't submit no fraudulent documents to no government, because when you do that, you mess yourself up. Okay? So with that being said, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Follow your girl, Twinkle Gossip Girl, for more gossip. Peace.